I think there was a control. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, for being here today. Thank you so much for setting up such a wonderful event. I am from the South African office for WSP. I'm heading up mining in Africa. For me, this is a really formidable time to be in mining. The growth and the growth and extensity of what mining is in Africa at the moment is exorbitant, and the opportunities are within our grasp, especially as women in the industry. I'm also going to share a little bit about how I came into my role and how I grew into the position that I am in. I have a more of a contractual commercial background. I worked as a QS for most of my career. I was started off on site, as many of you as well would have done. It gave me the greatest grounding to understand exactly what site work in a mining environment looks and feels like. I was fortunate to work on the Medupi power plant, a critical mine that fed the coal into the bunkers and into the silos that were built. This was a really formidable project because it allowed me to understand, firstly, how mining projects run, but also the interaction between various relationships in the stakeholder engagements. Much like Tanya, I had a lot of support from the men on my team. Everyone leaned in, but in those early days, and that was about, I think, 18 years ago, the work environment on site was not really set up for a woman in that space. So you would have to, I remember the times when they were really difficult, just to go to the bathroom, for instance. It didn't exist on site. So you'd get into your car, drive to a spot that was an established building, and then find a ladies' lavatory there. And that at that time felt normal, but obviously it was a challenge for many reasons. Now, though, things have changed. And you can see the industry shifting more towards accommodating of all genders and all types, and making it really a safe haven for you to feel comfortable in. And I think that's largely because of the organizations that exist, like WiM-SA, like WiM-Africa, like WiM-UK, where we push forward and we try to strive to do better in that space. The other things in my career that have really afforded me the opportunity to grow is that from this technical experience and opportunity that I had, I then delved a little bit more into business management, and that allowed me to get in more into a leadership management position. Slightly different, but in that consulting space, I got to meet across different stakeholders, whether it was geologists like Tanya or a few of you on the call, or it was more in the corporate environment and understanding business and finance and growing that ambition of mining in the entity that I worked for. This allowed me to lean back into my business knowledge, but also being able to push forward in an industry that is still largely male-dominated. I'm proud to say that the industry is trying to accommodate a lot more women into the space, and you'll see it at the executive board level. However, there's still a long way to go, and we see this happening in bits and pieces, but largely it's been good. It's been a good career journey. The other thing that I'm proud to say is that in the different mining environments that exist, you learn from each other, you grow. There's a huge community of lift as you rise. So helping those that are juniors, that are getting into the industry, is one of the most important aspects of growing in the industry, is making sure that you have affording people the opportunity to understand, to grow, to take up the helm, and to also be a part of the journey alongside you. It's one that you can build together, and that's one that we need the support of men and women alike. I'm fortunate enough to have had that opportunity, and I look forward to extending it to a lot more women in my career going forward. Thank you again so much for having me speak today, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the event.
Thanks very much, Thashni. Thank you for that contribution. One takeaway I have